everyone, welcome to this video. Today we're going to be talking about pantries and specifically pantry makeovers. This is my pantry here. It's just a, standard height pantry, but it is a little bit of a tricky one, and I'm sure a lot of you have similar pantries to this when you're not blessed with a huge, wide pantry. But you've got a very narrow and deep pantry. They can be quite difficult to organise. Things get lost in the back because they're so deep. You find it hard to see and to reach into the back. So it just makes general organisation of the pantry and how it generally works for you quite tricky. So we're going to do a pantry makeover today, and hopefully this helps somebody. It's going to be a very realistic makeover. I love the thought of having a Pinterest-worthy pantry, like I'm sure most of you do. But for me, it's just not really very realistic. I need something that's going to function well for my family on a day-to-day basis. And although aesthetics are a wonderful thing, we're just going to try and organise this so that it works for my family and obviously you for your family. And we'll try and have some nice little aesthetic touches in there, but the main gist of it is we want it to be functional for it to work for you each day. So here is the inside of my pantry, a very messy looking pantry.
Now, I don't keep a huge amount of pantry items in here, but it is still a mess. If I have extra stock of anything, I usually keep it down in my basement. I don't buy fancy food items or have a huge amount of packaged snacks. My pantry items are all very basic staple items. And when you have a small pantry like this, then you don't really have an alternative option but to only keep necessities in here.
Shelves are going to work differently in each pantry. So for my pantry, for example, some of these shelves are actually fixed in place, so I can't move them. And then some of them, do have the little holes down below so that the height can be adjusted. But because it's your pantry that you're organising, that means that you get to organise it the way that it's going to work best for you. So that's going to look different for each family depending on what kind of food and pantry stock you've got in there, and what shelves, within what kind of reach you like to have different foods on. If you've got young children, you might want to have certain pantry items higher up so that they can't reach them. And then other things you might want to have more accessible for them, like snacks and things like that. So that's the great thing about doing a pantry makeover, is that you get to do it in your house in the way that works best for you. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to pull everything out so that we can have a good look at what we've got in our pantry and what needs to be sorted. This is an example of how annoying narrow, deep shelves are. So I've got this first layer that I'm taking out here. And then I've still got this much depth behind that first layer. So this is almost my whole arm's length in here. My arm's quite long. So this first amount of space gets used quite readily and easily, but this deeper part here is hard to organise.
So here is everything pulled out. It always looks a lot more than when it was squished into the pantry hay.
I also have pantry items in this cupboard here. I have my spices and some other things because they just didn't fit in my pantry.
Okay, so now that everything is out of the pantry, it's time to get cleaning. If you have seen my very first video, where we go over how to start decluttering and cleaning when you are a busy working family, then you can count the wiping out of your pantry as all of your extra daily surface cleaning for the week.
Okay, so we're now at that point where you think, oh no, what have I done? I've got all this mess around me, but that's okay. This is just part of the process, and we just have to go through this bit. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take stock of everything that we've got here. I'm going to look at all of these items, are they expired? Do I actually use them? Can anything be donated to like a food bank if it's been sitting there for a while and it's still within its use by date? And we're obviously not going to eat it as a family, then can we just get it out of the house and pass it on for good use? And then also, what have I got here that isn't in an assigned container and maybe needs to be? For example, I've got spaghetti type pasta that I've never had a container for, so I'm just going to have a look around all of my food items here and take a good inventory, get rid of what needs to be got rid of, and just see what I've got that needs to go into a container of some kind. I've got my baking stuff here. These are all my oils and soy sauce cooking sauces. This here I've got rice, pasta, a bit of quinoa. Here's my tin stuff and jars of things. I would normally have a lot more than this, but at the moment this is what I've got. And then here's my breakfast spreads. I've got spices here, herbs and spices. This box I still need to go through. Ground cardamom. I'm actually quite shocked by this, but this has got an expiry date of 2012 on it, and it's now 2024. I don't even understand how I've managed to hold on to that for that long. That's going in the bin. Fennel seeds, an expiry of 2013 on it, into the bin. So this is all going into the bin. This next thing we're going to talk about is containers. There's so many wonderful different containers and storage options out there now. I'm just going to go through a few of them with you. The first thing that you want to do, because obviously each pantry is going to be different sizing, is you need to measure your shelves, measure the width and the depth to see what kind of containers are actually going to fit your cupboards. There are so many options out there for containers, but some of the things that you're going to want to think about are what is your aesthetic? Would you like to have everything Pinterest worthy and have everything white or black, or the beautiful wood topped containers that you can get now? You're obviously going to be going on the size of your shelves. For my shelves here, I can't really change the height of these shelves. Some of them are fixed, like this shelf here. So I'm pretty much going to keep my shelves the height that they are. But if you have got movable ones, then absolutely just move them around to what is going to work for you and the size of your containers. But the type of containers that you're going to get is going to be based on the width of your shelving and how deep it goes also. And are you wanting to utilize the full depth of your pantry, or are you wanting something that you can just pull out right from the beginning of the cupboard and not worry so much about the depth? Do you want containers that you can just pull out like a basket, or even with a handle, something like this I find really useful to put my flour and sugar in, because I can just have it on the shelf and then just grab it and pull it out if it's a little bit heavy. So those are really, really useful. Air tightness is another thing that you need to think about. I really love these containers. Most of these containers that I'm showing you are actually from Kmart, but wherever you are in the world, you're going to be able to find similar containers, whether it's from Target or in the UK. You've got lots of amazing shops over there that you can find containers from, even from Amazon, the Home Edit. But these containers I find really great. These particular ones, I love the look of them. They're just plastic, but they are airtight. I also love the fact that with my pantry, I want to be able to use the maximum height space in a narrow and deep pantry, so that you're using the most of the space that there is. So this one here, you can see I've hardly got any space in between, so it's using the most of the pantry space. I went and got a new pack of this particular storage. I've never had a proper storage for my pasta, spaghetti, long pasta, so these will be super helpful. They're also stackable, so again, just using the most of your width and your height of your pantry so you don't have any dead space. You've got clear containers. These are great, so you can actually see what you've got in each container. They all come in different sizes. All of these baskets that I'm showing you, I actually already have in my home. If you look in different places, I'm sure you'll be able to find some kind of basket options or container options that you can maybe repurpose for your pantry. Containers like this are super cheap, even from like $2 stores, £2 stores. These kind of baskets would be great for potatoes or onions to put into them. And then we've got Lazy Susans. These are just a wonderful option for your sauces, spices, anything that you just want to sort of group together but have easy access to be able to look at. Then these are great. They come in different sizes. Obviously, again, you're going to have to know the width of your pantry to be able to get the right size of these. These tiered units are super helpful for tins and cans and just anything that you want to be able to build up a little bit higher so that you can see where it is in your pantry. And at the end of the day, if you're wanting to do a pantry makeover and you just don't have the ability to go out and buy new containers or anything at home, you want a super budget way of doing a pantry makeover, then even things like ice cream containers can be really, really great. You can use them as they are. You could even paint them, but they're all similar size, so they would be really useful for even things like flour. They're going to keep moths and things like that out still, so that's always an option if you want a super cheap pantry makeover idea. I don't know if you can see this, but I've actually purchased some new little containers for my herbs and spices. These little ones here, they're airtight, and just thought they were super cute, and so I'll be decanting my herbs and spices into these little containers.
I'm going to put in this Kmart pull-out drawer sliding organiser. To start with, I am positioning it in the space so that it has clearance on either side of the unit and the pantry door will close properly. Then mark with a pencil where the holes are to be drilled for the screws that will fix to the pantry floor. Then make your holes using an electric drill. Make sure you have the right sized drill piece for the size of the hole you need to make. Next, I am making sure the holes line up with the unit base and that I have it around the correct way so that the drawer will slide out towards me. Now fix the base unit to the pantry floor using the screws provided. I have chosen to place the drawer to the side of my pantry space so that I can still use the space down the side for extra storage. This is all looking nice and secure now. To finish off, the drawer gets secured to the base with more screws, and voila, here is the finished drawer. I can now use this difficult low-down pantry space to its full potential. Now we are up to the fun part of putting everything back in. I will put some headings up here as to what I am putting back onto these first 3 shelves. On this fourth shelf, I'll show you a way to maximise the height space. I have found a storage container that I'm actually going to use as a base for height. If I flip it over the other way, I can then put a tiered shelf on top of it. And then I have bought this new extendable tiered shelf, which makes it so easy to adjust to the width of your own pantry. And on my bottom shelf is my very functional and useful slide-out drawer. I have placed it so I have this space in the back and also down the side that I could store extra bottles, tins, or Tetra packs of milk. The drawer makes it so much easier to get access to the items that are tucked away or hidden, as I now don't have to reach right to the difficult space in the back. These small containers fit perfectly on the drawer as well and have salt, pepper, taco packets, stock cubes, etc. in them. So here is a reminder of what my pantry looked like before. Not the most untidy it's ever been, but lots of items lost into the abyss of the back of the pantry and definitely in need of a makeover. And here is the finished result. I'm really happy with how it is looking and functioning now. I've continued to use a lot of the containers I already had, either ones that already had pantry items in them or other storage containers that I found around the house. But repurpose what you can for a more budget makeover. And of course, I'm super excited about my new sliding drawer. This was so easy to install, and it's enabled much more functionality for a tricky, low down and deep shelf. I really hope this video has given you some encouragement and some ideas that might help you with your own pantry storage and organisation. It just feels positive to have a good sort out sometimes, as much for the calmness of your mind as is for the function of your home. But all of these small, consistent habits of homemaking can and will have a positive impact on how your home feels. Please subscribe if you would like to see more realistic content like this for a busy, working family.